Once upon a time, in a beautiful kingdom, there lived a kind king and queen. They had a lovely little son who was cheerful but a little mischievous. Their kingdom was located near a large forest. The prince was very curious about the forest and always wanted to explore it. One day, the little prince went to his parents and said, "Mother, Father, I want to go to the forest and play with my friends." But the king and queen became worried. They told him, "No, you must not go to that forest. It is dangerous, and something scary lives there that could harm you." Hearing this made the little prince very sad. That night he was so upset that he refused to eat dinner and went to bed early. Late at night, the prince suddenly woke up because he heard a strange sound outside. When he looked around, he saw that his parents were still sleeping. Outside, the sky was bright with moonlight. It was a beautiful full moon night, but the forest looked dark and mysterious. The prince thought to himself, "Maybe it is already morning and everyone is still sleeping. This is the perfect time to go." Quietly, he got out of bed and went outside to meet his friends. Without realizing it was still night, he walked toward the forest. As he walked deeper and deeper into the forest, everything became darker and scarier. The trees were tall, and the wind made strange sounds. The prince became confused and said, "Why is it still dark? I thought morning had come." Soon he started to feel very afraid. He looked around but could not see anyone. The forest was silent and lonely. The little prince began to cry. He tried to find the road back to the kingdom, but he could not remember the way. Finally, he sat under a big tree and cried loudly. While crying, he remembered how his parents had warned him not to come here. Suddenly, he heard a strange rustling sound in the forest. The leaves moved, and something big began to come out from behind the trees. The prince quickly hid behind a tree, shaking with fear. Then he saw a giant monster slowly walking toward him. The monster sniffed the air and said in a deep voice, "I can smell a human here. Whoever is hiding, come out." The frightened prince slowly came out from behind the tree. The monster looked surprised and said, "What are you doing here? You are such a small child. How did you come into this forest?" The prince, still trembling, replied, "I came here to play with my friends, but now I realize it is still night. I want to go home. I want to see my parents." The monster sighed and said, "Usually, anyone who enters this forest can never leave." Hearing this made the little prince cry even harder. But when the monster saw the little boy crying, his heart became soft. He said gently, "Don't cry. I will take you back to your parents, but you must promise me something." The prince wiped his tears and asked, "What promise?" The monster said, "Promise me that you will never come to this forest again, and tell your friends never to come here either." The prince nodded quickly and said, "I promise. I will never come here again." The monster smiled and said, "All right. Sit on my hand and I will take you home." The little prince carefully climbed onto the monster's giant hand. Then the monster spread his huge wings and flew through the moonlit sky. In just a short time, he safely brought the prince back to the kingdom and left him near the palace. The prince ran inside and hugged his parents tightly. From that day on, the prince always listened to his parents and never went near the forest again. And the mysterious monster returned quietly to the forest, watching over it from the shadows. The end.